so I was a roadie, So I wasn't. I was happy enough being. I mean, you know, I had the arms for lifting stuff. I didn't have the arms for holding a microphone. But that night, I sang, and they were happy with my singing, and I sang ever since. And I mean, there is no sort of kind of like stopping period. It was like literally that was it. As soon as I realized that I could sing, then I wanted to sing all the time, And even when I got married to Margaret, and then we put Seventh Dawn together with Speedo and Russell and Davy Bates. I was upstairs singing into a pillow, to try and get, to try and become like the halfway sound like Graham Bonnet or Ronnie James Dio or whatever, and there was never any chance of it. But I still, it led on to all, with Storm Zone. I mean, Storm Zone. Because I always remember my brother, back in the day, turning around and saying that, you're being called yo-yo. Hang on, what? Where does the yo-yo bit come from? And he'd say, because you're never in one band, long enough that you're in another one, sort of thing. Yo-yoing from one band to the next. But that was the way it was back then, because I mean, nobody. It wasn't as if there was an established band, and you had to be, loyal to them, because you were going on tour or whatever. I mean, it was just whoever was good at the time and needed somebody good, you were poached, and that was it. So I was in Ashanti, Emerald, Trauma, Tyrant. uh, and before that, then I was in No Sweat for a wee while as well. And you know, but with Storm Zone, I was in Storm Zone, and still associate myself with the band, since 2006, and it's been like one band, and I've done other things, and in the meantime, but associated with one band for 16, 17 years. It's some feat, feat, or whatever you call it. So that was my induction into the realms of singing. If Lawrence hadn't have been eaten by a bin lorry, I would be playing bass right now, and maybe doing backing vocals. I don't know. But I was looking at my tattoos and stuff earlier on, and I was thinking about the days whenever I didn't have any, and I remember somebody turning around saying to me, "See if you get a wee bottle of Indian ink." I think I have one somewhere, but I draw with it now. Like, but if you get a bottle of Indian ink and a needle, like a pin, and you put the pin into the Indian ink, and then you tap it on your skin, it'll you can tattoo yourself. And I'm going like at 16, 17 or whatever, and going, ooh, that sounds good. And on this arm, I did a Motorhead tattoo, like the just the word Motorhead, in the Motorhead logo, and everybody's going, woohoo! Yeah, where'd you get that done? Now I did it myself. So everybody's coming to me going, Mom, Dad, did that. I think I did about 7 on my brother Robert's arms, which he was able to actually have on each arm, because I was only able to have mine on my right arm, because obviously, or sorry, my left arm, because I was right-handed. So I always remember 17 or whatever, I was going out with the love of my life, Jennifer. I think I was with her for about 6 days or something. Um, and knowing that I could do this tattoo sort of thing, I tattooed Jenny on my arm, on my forearm, And she was all, oh, do I mean that much to you, whatever. Um, and then after 6 or 7 days or whatever, we didn't mean anything to each other. She went her way, but I'm stuck with Jenny, on my arm. But that's whenever I sort of realised that things can be manipulated and worked out in the ways that don't have to be as they're perceived, sort of thing. So the J was there for John, the E was there that I could turn into an O, an N could be, I turned that into an H, and then the N was there anyway for the second N and Jenny for the John, and the Y I turned into a lightning bolt. Oh, it looked great. Well, it looked shit, but I mean, it looked great. From the point of view that I didn't have Jenny on my arm anymore, I had John with a lightning bolt. But that was I mean that was first tattoo sort of thing, Motorhead and Jenny John sort of thing, and then I went to Lawrence, the drummer in Emerald. He got this wee tattoo on his shoulder of like it's like a leopard or whatever, some just a cat's head sort of thing. I mean, he got his Lawrence, forgive me but Lawrence got his one of his dogs that he was dearly in love with, and I know that Lawrence McKeown is a fierce lover of any pet that he has, sort of thing. But he had this beautiful German Shepherd and Alsatian or whatever it is, and he got it tattooed on the dog's features tattooed onto his arm. And he was wearing like this stripy t-shirt at one of our gigs. It was in Port Stewart up in Spuds, which is going to be a subject for another vlog at some stage. And so he had the Alsatian, the German Shepherd, on his arm and he was wearing a stripy, and he was forever known afterwards then, and Robbie still says, how salty dog. Because it was just like that, like a pirate, on the seven seas sort of thing. But no, Lawrence got the leopard done in a tattoo place in Bangor, called Vicks. I know that Vicks is to use like a sort of Vicks rub, you put it on your chest, if you've got a cold or something. No, Vicks was Victor, and Victor was the only tattooist in Bangor. One of the very few tattooists actually back then in Northern Ireland. You could go to Coleraine and see Sailor Bill and end up with a tattoo with a needle about that thick, which a lot of people did. But when Vic opened up, he started doing these designs, which were kind of like revolutionary because they had a very thin needle, so he was able to do a very thin outline, and the tattoos looked great, for the time, So I went along anyway, and I decided that I wanted to get this Motorhead thing, the Motorhead that I had done, covered over. So I went along to Vic and said,